Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Again, what is going on? How you guys all doing this Sunday afternoon? This is the Club with the Man 1993, and I am here for take 2 of this quick review of this past week's episode of SmackDown. I apologize if I sound like not as effective. This is take number 2 for this review because my microphone, unfortunately, for some reason, decided to crap out on me while I was recording it. So I have to start all over, and I'm hurrying because I really want to watch AEW All In. I will be doing a live reaction to the main event between Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson. What could be Bryan's final match. And I do not want to be spoiled for that match, as, again, if it is Bryan's last match, I want to have a genuine reaction. I don't want me hearing any rumors or floating that's going to affect me and affect my reaction in that live reaction. So there's a couple other things I addressed in my first take. I will get to that in another video, maybe for like the all-in live review whenever I do that and whatnot. But I want to get this done. I'm going to get this uploaded. I am not going to post it though yet on the links on like Twitter or anything. I do not want to risk seeing any spoilers for All In. So I don't want to be spoiled. I will be pissed if I get spoiled for that main event. But we're going to talk about SmackDown very quickly here. I'm just going to go through like a few of like the quick things that were just there that I didn't really care for. And I'll also talk about the 2 things that I stood out to me the most on this episode of SmackDown. It was a solid show. Some stuff I liked, okay, the 2 things I liked most about this show: the progressing of the feud with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, teasing the idea of Kevin Owens maybe turning heel, which honestly I think he does kind of need. And I also liked the match they had for the tag titles was what it was for the men's tag titles, that is. But I do kind of like the little story moment they had before the match between Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I'll get to that at the end, but first, let me just quickly touch on the other stuff that just happened that I didn't really care too much for. We had a U.S. title match with Santos Escobar and LA Knight. The match was fine. Before the match started, though, they had a thing where Berto and Angel pulled Knight out from the ring and attacked him, kind of trying to get this idea that Santos may have a chance to win. All it really did was get the rest of Legado del Fantasma ejected from ringside. And the match was fine. Again, the problem I have, again, I like all the talent in Legado del Fantasma. But again, I just feel like it's been built as a low card act at this point, and it's not really doing anything for me. Like, I know Santos could be a main eventer. I know Angel Garza has a ton of charisma. Humberto Carrillo I know is good as well. And I am intrigued by Elektra Lopez as well. But just right now, it's just like, they're not doing it for me right now. They need to get the fire lit underneath them, I feel like, to get them back on track again. After the match, though, we had a backstage where Santos berates Legado del Fantasma before it happened, and then Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews were just like making fun of them and set up for another tag match. I don't get this tag team with Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. Like, to me, it's just two guys stuck in the low cards who have absolutely nothing to do. So they're kind of in these like pointless matches as a tag team. There's just no story to them. I'm not feeling that I'm not a fan of. What I am interested in, though, and I can't remember if it was either he said it's either going to be next Friday on SmackDown, because I thought he said it was going to be a Bash in Berlin, but it wasn't advertised when they showed the graphics for the for Bash in Berlin towards the end of the show. But LA Knight issued an open challenge for next week for the U.S. title. Wonder who it could be. I know some people said it could be AJ Styles, which, yeah, but wouldn't be a big surprise. Like, if it was that, just advertise that as the match. I can't remember who else people suggested. I thought maybe John Cena, but I don't know if he will accept it. If he will accept it right now or not. He might be just preparing for his last run for next year. Something who I think they could do, because I also don't think LA Knight's gonna win. But of course, also there's a possibility they could just do a rematch with him and Logan Paul. Their match at SummerSlam was good, but someone else, please. Someone else. Who I'm going to predict it could be, because I've heard rumors they may be calling this guy up soon from NXT. I wonder if maybe they'll give it to Charlie Dempsey, who is William Regal's son. I think that could be an interesting one right there. Kind of a way to, give him a shot. Kind of like how at the 2018 Rumble, I think it was, remember when Bobby Roode was U.S. champion, he had that open challenge on the pre-show? Well, it was answered by Mojo Rawley in the end. Originally, that was actually supposed to be Adam Cole, because he was from that area, and he just came, of course, to WWE. But then they didn't want to see Adam lose, and so instead, they swapped places. They had, instead of Mojo being in the Rumble, Mojo took the open challenge, and Adam Cole was in the Rumble. Had a nice little sequence there with Rey Mysterio, but that match ain't gonna happen. But so that stuff was interesting. That was interesting there with LA Knight and U.S. title open challenge thing. But the matchup with Santos was fine. But again, like I said, Legado del Fantasma is just not doing it right now for me as a group. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi beat the Unholy Union and Blair Davenport, with Naomi pinning Blair Davenport. And it was announced then that we're going to be getting another tag title match between the Unholy Union and Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, which, again, if they're just doing it, just put the titles back on the two of them. It just feels like this reign without Unholy Union is just dragging. And again, it's because before they got the titles, they were on the main roster for a whole year doing absolutely nothing. And then even though it was in front of their home country, you just give them the titles, and I just feel like that they didn't really progress, and that, they should have just given the titles right back to Bianca and Jade. At least they actually did a little bit more with them, at least. But, now it's just like, okay, I'm kind of over it. Let's just move on from this. So that all happened there. We also that was what I was saying for later. The tag title stuff. Let me see here. We did get a video package for Mia Yim in a hype reel, as she's going to take on Nia Jax on SmackDown next week, kind of just basically, giving her like a street fight vibe. I guess that's the match that they're having. There was also a segment with Tiffany Stratton and Pretty Deadly trying to glue Nia's crown back together. And Nia rolls in and then breaks the three of them. And also was upset about Mia Yim attacking her last week. Around the corner, Chelsea Green was talking trash about the celebration that Tiffany Stratton hosted for Nia. And Nia just popped around saying, "Got a problem here?" And then Chelsea's like, "Nope." And her and Piper just run away because they're little chickens. But yeah, there was just that stuff. And then the two other things that happened, well, first, kind of like the second biggest story of the night to me was they had a tag title match between the Bloodline and the Street Profits, which the match itself was fine. Again, like I said, nothing too special again. And then DIY came afterwards to help Street Profits fend off the Bloodline. But then they got beat down, so it's probably setting up for maybe an 8-man tag match with DIY and Street Profits teaming up against the Bloodline, which, fine, that's probably what episode of SmackDown. But eventually, though, we'll probably get some sort of like a triple threat between the Bloodline, the Street Profits, and DIY. But before the match, though, the Bloodline come out as a group. And at the time, they had Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu holding the tag titles. Well, Solo Sikoa first says that our OTC is DONE. So saying that he's done, and Roman was not on the show. Obviously, they were just trying to sell off the beatdown took for the Bloodline last week. And, I guess, they don't have anything for him yet on pay-per-view yet, but I guess, of course, it's coming soon. But then they had something interesting, though. Well, first off, Solo then said he's next in line after KO and Sammy take care of their score at a Bash in Berlin. But he claims something's wrong, though, with the tag titles. He calls in Jacob Fatu. And at first, I thought he was going to strip him of the title because of his boot. But instead, though, he has Jacob Fatu hand the title to Tonga Loa. So now they're saying that Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, or formerly known as Gorillas of Destiny, are the tag champions, which I think that was the plan until Tonga Loa had that eye injury briefly. Now, of course, he doesn't have the eye patch anymore. But the reason why Soul said he had him do that was because he says, how you can't be both tag champ and my personal enforcer. Treating it as like a promotion. I like this though because it's. I'll say why. I'll reiterate something I've been mentioning. I love Solo Sikoa, but again, I feel like his character work has improved drastically this year since WrestleMania, since starting up this new Bloodline. I just feel like in the ring again, he's digressed. He hasn't gotten better. Like it's just like his promo skills and his in-ring stuff is just not like lining up right now, if I'm being honest. And I know there's a story where everybody's saying that Jacob Fatu is going to outshine him. Well, eventually, I'm sure there will be a feud with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, where you can revert back to this, that Solo took the tag title off of Jacob, not to promote him, but to stop him from outshining him. He's going to try to put him in the doghouse as far as he can. So I like that. And finally, the last thing I thought was good, well, not the whole thing, but Cody Rhodes was on the Grayson Waller effect on this show. And they were trying to, get in Cody's head about how Kevin Owens has a history of turning on people, which we know that how many times. They even did a video package. Of course, Cody Rhodes mentioned how that there's going to be an eventual turn between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Just get to the freaking turn already, because I could give two craps about either one of these guys right now. But then Kevin Owens does come out after showing the video package, and he claims everybody who they showed he had turned on had it coming for them, except for Kofi, though. He claims Kofi didn't have it coming. He loves him. But him and Cody don't have that type of relationship. He would never turn on him. And instead for a tag match later on the show, which also featured Kevin Owens asking Nick Aldis if he had time to punch them in the face, and Aldis says, just make it quick. And they had a backstage for the match where KO asked Cody, like, do you believe what they said in that video package? And Cody's like, no, whatnot. He goes, so I probably I'm a changed man. Well, of course, then we had the tag match where Cody and KO won. Afterwards, though, they had a moment there where it looked like Kevin Owens was going to turn heel and attack Cody Rhodes, but instead he just ran right past him, tossed him the title, and then that's how the show went off the air. I still personally think, though, Kevin Owens needs that heel turn. He's been a heel almost entirely since 2019. He was briefly a heel again in 2020, the beginning of the year. But then when Triple H took over, he slowly reverted back to being a babyface. And I do think that heel turn's needed. I also like that he is using the pop-up powerbomb as his finisher again. Because before it was just a stun move. Because nothing against a stunner, it's a good move, but again, it's not Kevin Owens' move. Pop-up powerbomb just feels like it's Owens' own thing. And heck, I'll even go as far as saying this. If they turn him heel, have him bring back the package pile driver. I also think if he turns heel, he should be the one to eventually dethrone LA Knight. I think they would have a great feud. And again, I still think also it's insane that it's been 7 years now, I think it is, since Kevin Owens last held any sort of singles title. Because that's when he was playing hot potato with the U.S. title with AJ Styles. But that's that. That's all I got to say for SmackDown. Oh, yeah, and then after the beatdown that the Bloodline gave on the Street Profits and DIY, they were checking with BFAB about how the Street Profits are, but then Candice had indicated to check on Johnny, which felt a little out of place since Candice and Indy are heels, DIY are currently faces, but it is what it is. But that's all I gotta say about SmackDown. I gave the show a B-. Again, the stuff with Cody and KO was good. I am interested to see, though, where they go with this U.S. Open Challenge with LA Knight. The little storytelling pieces from Soul Sikoa in there. Everything else was just... It was what it was, I thought. But I'm going to upload this now. And I'm also going to go out to the living room, watch All In. And again, I will be live reacting to Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. The final countdown, career versus title. And again, this could be Bryan Danielson's final match. Will it be, though? We'll find out later on tonight. So again, guys, do not send me any spoilers of AEW All In. Please. I want my live reactions for that to be as genuine as possible. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it. What do you guys thought this week's episode of SmackDown? Gave it a B-. Leave us down in the comment section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Until then, guys, check it out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your day, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!